Say hello to Link, a chainable mixer module for Eurorack. Link is a straightforward yet versatile utility for all your mixing needs.
So this little guy is Link, our Eurorack module. I'll talk a little bit about the form and the features, and then we'll show you how to use it in a rack. So as you can tell, it's a 1U format. I thought this is quite a handy idea for people with compact systems, and just to have the mixing ability right there on the 1U to plug things in. I thought it was a neat idea, and it's chainable, so you would use one or more of these to create a full mixer. This is just panning and setting the volume on one input. So regardless of the input, if you just want to use a mono, you can go into the left channel and it will duplicate on it on the right, and you'll be able to pan it as you normally would. But if you use a stereo signal, you'd also be able to pan it. And this is something I didn't find on too many other Eurorack gear. Maybe it does exist, but I couldn't find a system that would actually have panning for mono and also stereo. But you can do whatever. So this should fulfill really all your mixing needs. The volume goes from minus 60 dB, which is, to all intents and purposes off, to 0 dB, so unity gain. There's, I should say about the panning as well, it's a sine cosine law on the panning, which is what you want typically for when you're summing different types of sound sources. The green LEDs are for a signal present. They glow faintly just to show the thing is on and powered, and then you'll see them pulsate when a signal comes through. If a signal clips, the red LEDs will show that, and they'll pulse on the unit in which it clips, and also at the end of the chain. The outputs are pretty self-explanatory. You're only going to use them typically on the last link in your chain. This is 40 millimeters deep when you've got the plug connected, so it should fit into pretty much every rack. These headers are quite nice and stiff, so very unlikely that these two PCBs would come apart, but if they did, there's only one orientation you can put that in. So this comes in the box. You'll get mounting screws, you get the obligatory power cable, and you'll get these daisy chain cables. So they'll go in one of three slots here. It's chain out, chain in, and last in. So if you're creating a chain, the first one's going to be the chain out, and then I'm going to connect the other side of this to chain in on the next one, or the last one if it's the final one. So these ones you can't really make a mistake in the orientation. There's a little notch, and these ones are really stiff when they go in. I would recommend, if you have to take one out, is just to get a screwdriver, a little flat screwdriver, and ease it out there first before you start yanking it. These ones will accommodate, so I've got two others here, so they'll accommodate next to each other quite nicely, without too much slack going in the back of your Eurorack cable. But if you wanted to, we can help you source longer cables so that you can have different runs for different configurations of your Eurorack. So I'm going to do a chain of 3 on this one, so let's do that now. So those are my 3. I've got chain out to chain in, and then chain out to last in. To rack this, I would recommend you do those jumper cables first, and then have the power ready, and then you can kind of get that ready and put the power in. So here we have a patch setup in a Eurorack case with 3 links. I could have more, I could have up to 11. It is possible with specification, and it's not like noise is being added along the way. It's not like this sound's going into this sound. It's a mixing bus, so there's no degradation in audio quality no matter how many links you have. And in fact, if you had a big enough case and you wanted more than 11, you could have one chain going into another chain, going into another chain, or so you'd use up a pair of sockets for that. That would be it. So yeah, it's pretty simple. So let's see it in action. Let's press play here. So I've got plats here, outputting simple thing. Now I'll pan that in the center and you can hear that. Platts has got a mono out and an auxiliary. Some people use it as a stereo, so in this case I've put the auxiliary into this one. They're both in mono and you can see that both green lights are on. So now I've got the opportunity to sort of pan Platts to however I want, really. So that's more of a percussive thing on the second one there. So I can kind of go maybe a bit to the right on that one and a bit to the left on that one too. You can hear that. That wants to be a bit louder, I think. Yeah, so happy with that. And then you can see the signal strength. So this one is louder coming in. It gets a bit more bright, those LEDs and those ones. And they faintly glow if nothing's coming in at all. So let's put something on that one. So that's Bitbox piano sample going into my phone, and then that's going into the third link here. So I'll turn the volume up on that. And of course I can pan that wherever I want as well. Just crank that up, and then I can kind of, when I get my levels right, I can kind of play. There we go. So it's as simple as that, really. If these levels were too high, these red LEDs would come into play and they're clipping. That's all there is to say. Oh, I've connected this auxiliary as well. So, sorry, I've connected the output of this one to an auxiliary. Normally you wouldn't connect any of the outputs, but you can, and send it somewhere else. So in this case I've sent it to the Q. So on this guy, I can just hear that if I wanted to. Obviously it could go to a different effects bus or something like that, but you've got that ability on, not on the last one, but on the other ones, to have an extra buffered out, which is no problem. And it's in phase as well, I should say. That's it. That's all there is to Link. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this is chain for people who want the same mixer functionality, but in a traditional 14 HP Eurorack unit. Basically, it's really is just 4 links, and so the 4 links are plugged in with a special cable that distributes power, and that cable will come with it, and that'll come plugged into it. And then, of course, all of these in the configuration, so that this is the first one and that's the last one. So your mixing output will be here, and there will be buffered outputs for these 3 signals should you want them, and so that chain is giving you a chain of 4 links. Let's see that in action as well. Cool. On this patch we've just got Bitbox micro going straight to chain. I've got individual outs set that you can set on here and a bunch of samples, so shout out to 1010 Music, SL Liquid Dub. They're pretty cool samples. They're all stereo, but some are more stereo than others, if you know what I mean. So let's start some of these going. It's a bass line. And we can pan this left or right. This is coming through just one jack. Mono. I've also, I think, got this one coming through the same jack. This will start on the B. Yeah, we'll keep that pan slightly to the left, then we'll add guitar. This is on 3/4. This you'll hear is completely stereo. Oh, we'll get the balance of volume right. You can see the green where content's coming in. So yeah, keep going. Lo-fi wobble is coming on outputs 5 and 6. 6 and 7 and 8, sorry. So we'll turn that one up. Okay, it's stereo, but let's pan it to the right. You can still pan stereo stuff. And I pan that one side to the left. And then there's a piano sample at the end there, so it's on this one. This is again mono. Yeah, and then play around. So you can hear the minus 60 dB is pretty much off to all intents and purposes, so got quite a good range on these volume. Oops, didn't stop. Cool. That's chain.